Hello, today we're going to be learning about place value. So I want you to list 3 different numbers that you could use to create this place value chart. So using 3 different numbers, I want you to fill in this chart. Now I want you to make sure that you have a number in each of these areas for all 3 of your numbers that you're going to create. I will give you a minute to create those. Simply pause the video and then continue after you have your 3 numbers created. How does the knowledge of place value chart help you read these numbers correctly? Pause and discuss with a partner. Now I want you to, with your partner, share your numbers and read them to each other. How were you sure your partner's numbers were read correctly? Pause and discuss. If read incorrectly, what support did you give? Pause and discuss. The place value chart grows in both directions and includes decimal numbers. So here you see decimal numbers. Now, notice there is not a ones column. Yes, that sounds silly, but there's not. It goes ones, tens, hundreds, as you know from 4th grade, all the way up to 100 millions. But when you go through this chart, you're looking at tenths, hundredths, and thousands. These are quite a bit smaller than this side. And if you look at the chart, this explains it. You know that tens is bigger than ones. You know millions is bigger than thousands. It gets larger when it is in front of the decimal point going this direction. But the opposite is true when you cross over the decimal number. It gets smaller. Thousandths, 1,000th is way smaller than 1/10. I want you to think about it in terms of pizza. 1/10 of a pizza is a pretty good slice. 1,000th of the same size pizza is not a very big slice. You're going to get like a teeny piece. So it would be like not enough to feed a mouse. So when you think tenths, they're quite a bit bigger than thousandths. Same is true for hundredths. Tenths are bigger than hundredths. Hundredths are bigger than thousandths, and so on. We're going to stop at thousandths. Of course, it goes to 10,000, 100,000s, but we're learning tenths, hundredths, and thousandths for right now. So, your task now is to create 2 numbers, filling in every single space, and I want you to read those to your partner, how you think they should sound. So pause, create those numbers, and share them with a partner. How did you know that your partner read the number correctly? How does this place value chart help you read large numbers? I want you to pause and discuss those 2 questions. Alright, your next task. I want you to get 2 dice, and I want you to read the task and complete this. So pause while you complete this task and come back to me in just a... Okay, so you should have paused and completed the task. Now, let's see how I would read a number if I had 110,236,192, and anytime you see this decimal point, you will say and. You will never say and when you're going between millions, thousands, and ones. You will never say that. You will say and for a decimal. And signifies the decimal. So if you say it somewhere up here, you're going to confuse someone, and they're going to think, oh, well, this is a decimal now because they said and. Okay? So and signifies the decimal. Now, it gets complicated when you are reading like this. 145. Now, You read it just like you would if this was 145. and this decimal wasn't here. So if you have 145, you're going to have to end with where the last number is located. So the last number is located in thousandths. So you would say 145 thousandths. Notice that it ended in the column. Now let's say you had 17. So 1 and a 7 here, 17 hundredths, because it ends in the hundredths. The last number is in the hundredths. Now I want you to think about this. How would you say it if it was 170 thousandths, meaning there's a 0 in the thousandths place? Pause and discuss. Okay, you can say it one of two ways. You could say 170 thousandths, but zeros on the tail end of a decimal can be eliminated. So if you were to eliminate that 0, you could still say 17 hundredths. So 17 hundredths and 170 thousandths are equivalent. That means they are the same. There is no difference in them. So I want you to do some discussing with your partner. I want you to create two numbers, one that ends in a 0 in the thousandths place, like 120 thousandths and 12 hundredths, and discuss those differences with your partner. Very good. Now, moving on to this task. You completed this task with your partner. I want you to see if you actually read those numbers correctly and build your points based on that. So, if you need to play the game again, that is fine. But otherwise, you need to make sure that you are saying those numbers correctly now. Pause and continue. Alright. Here's your task now. You have a number here. So it says, write in words the number shown below. How can the digit 4 be the same but have different values? Give the value of each 4 in the number. What I want you to do is this is going to be your exit task for today. So I want you to write in words the number shown below. That means read it the way you would say it out loud and write down what you are saying. Then, how can the digit 4 be the same digit but have different values? Think about that. I want you to write both of these, hand them in for a quick check.